Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing some information you need to know, things you need to know before coming to North Cyprus, either to study, for a holiday, but most especially to study, because I feel like North Cyprus is a student country. So yeah guys, how was your week? How are you feeling today? How is each and every one of you doing? I hope everyone is in a good space, mentally, physically, and all around. Welcome back to today's vlog. First things first, I think one of the most important things you need to know, regardless of what any agent is saying to you, the first and most important thing I will say to you is make sure before coming to Northern Cyprus, if you have a sponsor, if your parents are your sponsors, if you're the one sponsoring yourself, whichever may be the case, just make sure that if you're coming for a 4-year course or a 2-year course, please just make sure that you have enough finance to fund your schooling for the amount of time you will be in Cyprus. This is the most vital and important thing you can ever do for yourself. Make sure that if your parents are sending you to Cyprus, make sure that they can afford to send you for 4 years or 2 years. Should you be doing masters or PhD, whichever. If you're sponsoring yourself, whatever the case may be, personally, I will tell you, make sure that your stay in Cyprus, you have the finance to last you for your period of stay in Cyprus, because Cyprus is not an easy country in any way, shape or form. So yeah, that's very, very important. I feel like if I say that's the only important thing, I feel like I've done you a favor. Yes, Cyprus is just like any other country. It has its ups and downs, it has its bad side, it has a good side. But in this aspect, if you're coming to school, if you know anyone in North Cyprus, trust me, ask them and they will tell you, they will agree with me on this. Just make sure you have the finance, because Cyprus is such a difficult country. And one of the reasons I'm saying what I'm saying is, right now in Cyprus, the least you can pay rent for is 4 months. That's if you manage to find a house, they can collect 4 months rent. But mind you, most times landlords want 6 months rent or 1 year rent. From this rent, aside the rent, you're paying deposit, and the deposit is the same amount as your rent. If you're paying £300, for example, you have to drop 2 months deposit. That's what most landlords are doing currently. So you're dropping £600 as deposit. That's aside the amount you're going to be paying for your house. You could live alone, you could share with someone. I'll advise you to share with someone. That way you cut your expenses. But if you can afford to, fine, you can stay on your own. But know that we pay rent in pounds. The official currency for North Cyprus is Turkish lira, which is lower than naira sometimes, and is much lower than dollars, euros, pounds. So Turkish lira is the original currency in the country. The rent, we pay rent in pounds. School fees, we pay school fees in euros or dollars. So yeah, you understand me now when I say you have to be financially ready or somewhat financially stable to be able to come school in Cyprus. You're coming as a student, you're going to be responsible for rent, you have bills, that is light, water, you have so many things you tend to pay for that most times it gets to a point that you can no longer afford it. So that is why it is very important. I will keep repeating this. It is very important for you to come to Cyprus fully guarded, like finance wise. When it comes to school fees, usually it used to be, I think, every month or a certain day from the day you made your first payment. If you don't pay at once complete, it increases with time. There's a percentage it increases with time. They've improved to a level in that aspect, but most schools still do this, that when you don't pay your school fees on time, there's a certain percentage it increases. To round everything up, even before I go further, to round everything up, hold money. Hold money, because Cyprus mostly collects. You hardly receive or you hardly get from Cyprus. When you're in North Cyprus, you mostly give. I'm not saying this to scare you, I'm just telling you the real facts, the real truth, so you don't come here and suffer. North Cyprus is not an easy country. North Cyprus is a very expensive country. North Cyprus is just a a student-friendly country. That is what I would say. And if you have the opportunity, if you have the means, if you have the money, if you're capable of, I would advise to go to a different country and not even North Cyprus, to be very sincere, because when you're in North Cyprus, after you finish schooling, there's nothing here for you. There's no work. Don't mind what anyone says to you. There is no work in Cyprus. If you manage to find work, it's mostly to work at factories. And you know that's not an easy job, and it's not like the pay is such a good pay to even keep you running. You get your payments in Turkish lira. As a foreigner, you're being paid in Turkish lira. So without Turkish lira, it's better to cover your rent in pounds, cover your school fees in euros or dollars, whichever the case may be. So please and please make sure you have money before coming to Cyprus. Don't advise anyone to come to Cyprus if you know that they are struggling to make ends meet, or they are not just financially okay. You will just come and suffer for nothing. And I've seen that happen time and time again in Cyprus. So that is even one of the major reasons I'm making this video, because people tend to deceive the young people, especially now. I don't know what the agents are saying. I don't know what they are saying to you guys, but please and please make sure that before you come to Cyprus, have money. There's no work in Cyprus. There's nothing extra for you to make money from in Cyprus. No matter how hardworking you think you are, there is nothing tangible for you to do in Cyprus for you to be able to balance your work, what you're getting from your work, that's your salary, and your bills, your expenses in general. Everything is expensive. So please do yourself well by coming if you know that you're financially capable for a period of time in Cyprus. Another thing again I would say is you get to do student permit yearly. We call it mujarat here, and that also requires money. Guys, I'm telling you guys, everything in Cyprus requires money. The only thing in Cyprus that doesn't require money is just the air we breathe, honestly. Everything in Cyprus requires money. For this yearly permits, you spend nothing less than $100 yearly for just that. You get to do blood tests, you pay for your blood tests, you pay for tax, everything all in all. You get to spend at least $100 yearly for just resident permit. And you can't stay in the country without resident permit. I will advise you when you come to make sure you get your resident permit done. Don't miss a year, no matter what. Even if you're not traveling, even if you're, no matter what the situation may be, just make sure, try your best that you get your mujara done. That's your student permit. And back to this money matter again. For you to be able to qualify, to be able to do the student permit, you need to be a registered student, because everything is on the system, is online. So for you to proceed to even be able to do the resident permit, you need to pay for school, you need to be registered in school. So you just can't sit in Cyprus and you just cannot pick and say, okay, you can do your yearly permit without having to bother about school. You still have to pay for school fees to do the resident permit. So everything is just like linked together. So it's like Cyprus holds you like this, trust me. Cyprus holds you. That's what I mean by Cyprus mostly, not Cyprus, please. Not Cyprus mostly takes from you. It doesn't give you anything. There's hardly any reward for you in Cyprus. And let me tell you guys, in respect to what I'm saying, just note that be you a girl, a boy, whatever gender you may be, Cyprus is a respecter of no gender. Be it a female, whatever gender you may be, you go collect, no worry. Cyprus is a respecter of no gender. If you don't come prepared, even when you come prepared and maybe things go sideways, you go collect for Cyprus, no worry. So yeah, please, I will keep repeating this. Make sure you have money before coming to Cyprus. It is very, very important. I would say one of the things you can do, maybe if you decide to stay in Cyprus after school, you are allowed to, of course. Like I said, every place has the bad, every place has the good. I'm talking about the bad for now. Another point I will add is, if you can't, just try, when you come to Cyprus, just try and get a credit card. So I advise, if you end up coming to North Cyprus, make sure to open an account. It's important to have an account regardless of what country you're in. So just make sure you open your student account, except of course you can afford to pay for the other private banks. So yeah, that's important. And also, another big issue in Cyprus is the language barrier. English is not widely spoken here, or I would say proper English. So after a while in Cyprus too, if you're not careful, you start misspeaking your English. There's a huge language barrier, a very big language barrier. So have that in mind when coming to Cyprus, that there is a language barrier which may interfere in everything. Like till today, there are still so many places that don't have an English speaking representative in maybe a company, hotel, whatever it may be. They still don't have good English speakers. So yeah, there's language barrier. And before coming to Cyprus, make sure you check the city where your school is located so you know where to get housing. Transportation is quite an issue in Cyprus. We have the school bus, but because it's free, it tends to get filled to the brim. When I say filled to the brim, the school bus is always filled to the brim. So yeah, and taxis are very expensive. It's either, if you can afford it, you can actually rent a car or you can buy a car. But if you can't, transport is expensive. So make sure that the location of your school is matching the location where you're looking for a house. But I will even advise that as a new timer, it's better to stay in the dorm. I know you might say, oh, trust me, I will put it this way, that if you want to be financially smart, I will advise you to stay in the dorm. When I came, I stayed in the dorm, and for dormitories, at least for last I know, most dormitories you tend to pay for a year, which is so much cheaper than apartments. When you pay for a year, you're not responsible, at least in Near East. In CIU, I'm not so sure about CIU, but in Near East, and I think it should be similar with all schools in Cyprus, that dormitories you get to pay for a year, you don't bother about the light bill, the water bill, everything is taken care of. Once you make that payment, that is it. I stayed in the dorm and I enjoyed my stay in the dorm. I don't know the state of the dorm currently in all the schools. I don't know the state of the dorms, but our advice, if you can, just manage and stay in the dorm, even if it is for a year. Because when you stay in the dormitory, you don't need to worry about transportation to school. There's markets in schools. There's anything you can think of, you can basically get it in school. Because most schools have big supermarkets that you tend to get even some household appliances. So if you stay in school, you've taken out the struggle of transportation, the school bus and everything. So when you're going out, maybe you're going for something else, but not struggling going to school and the rest. And sometimes for the locations where your house is located, you have to wake up super early to meet up to the time of the bus. But if you're in the dormitory, you don't get to experience all of that. So personally, I would advise that if you're a first timer in Cyprus, just try. I know we're so used to wanting luxury immediately or wanting luxury right now, but please, if you can, just manage. Try. It's not going to last forever. Try and stay in the dorm. It's going to make life way easy for you. Also, another thing to note is North Cyprus doesn't really have a good fashion sense. So you see all those pictures you see on Instagram where people they are really fashionable and all of that. You hardly get to see stuff like that in Cyprus because their fashion sense is just different. I wouldn't really say they don't have a fashion sense because everyone has their own taste. But I would say it's not the fashion you know or the fashion you would want. Most times, if you want really nice things, you have to order from Shein, Zara, Fashion Nova, Boohoo, or wherever you might want to order. But know that you will still pay for tax, and tax is not cheap when the clothes come. Tax is not cheap. So yeah, the fashion, at least for someone like me, I have that problem that you don't really get to see fashion items as I would want. And with all that being said, to sum everything up again, money. Just make sure you have money. Not just make sure you have money, make sure the money you have is enough to last you. Make sure that whoever is supporting you, be it your parents, yourself, whoever, just make sure that at least out of 4 years you are guaranteed, just make sure that out of 4 years you have the 4 years assurance that yes, you can do it. Because trust me, it's not easy in Cyprus. I know it's not easy anywhere, but it seems like Cyprus is just, with its unique difficulties or unique problems, Cyprus is quite difficult, I must say. So yeah, and the fact that the currencies just differ so much, the official currency, the currency they charge school fees, rent, everything. And the mind-blowing part is when it's time to pay, you still get in the official currency and not any other currency. So yeah, there's really never any balance between work. If you're going to be working to save yourself, there's really no guarantee. For some people, if you can decide to stay in Cyprus, or which is always allowed, there's never a place that is that bad that there's nothing good from it. You can still decide to stay in Cyprus, but I would say things like maybe content creating, social media, anything that has to do with social media, yes, you'll be able to do it. But then again, for you to stay in the country, you still need the mujarat, which you need to pay for school, get the mujarat, you still need to pay for rent. So everything put together, if you don't already have the money, if you're just starting, it's still not a wise decision. So yeah, if you're coming to North Cyprus, just know that you're coming to school and go back. But with all I've said, always have it in mind that my journey and your journey is not the same. If I have it bad, doesn't mean you will have it bad. If I have it good, doesn't mean you will have it good. That's just life for you. Just come with an open heart, with not so much high expectation, if you get what I mean. We're done with the bad parts about Cyprus. These are the most I could get or think of. So we're done with the bad parts. Let's go to the good parts now. Cyprus is a very, 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 very peaceful country, and their security is like 100%. The rate crime in Cyprus is very low. Cyprus is a country where you can walk alone at any odd time. It could be 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever the time. Even as a lady, you can walk alone in Cyprus. Cyprus is safe. Of course, I'm not saying when you come, you should always be out, but you understand what I mean. Cyprus is a very safe country. Their security is very good. Cyprus is a very peaceful and very quiet country. Everyone minds their business. No one is bothering anybody. So long you're on your lane, you're not out there looking for trouble, or maybe whatever you're doing has legal consequences, you're in the good to go. Cyprus is a very lovely place. I love Cyprus for that. When my mom came to Cyprus, that was the first thing she also noted and said that as a student, you have no distraction whatsoever when you come to Cyprus. It's a sane country, far away from everything, far away from everyone, but at the same time, it's like just this small, homely, I don't know. Cyprus is just a very peaceful country, and it's a very, very lenient country. I must applaud them for that. It's a very lenient country. Cyprus is the only country where students get to do whatever they want, and there's not really so much legal consequence, or there's not so much will I say, like in a country like UK, as a student, if your visa expires, I bet you can sleep at night. But in a place like Cyprus, there are people who get to stay for years, and you don't even really have that fear so much, Cyprus is a very, very lenient country, so I'll applaud them for that. And then Cyprus, I would say they are more open to restaurants and coffee shops, especially coffee shops. So the only fun thing I would say in Cyprus, aside hotels, is restaurants, and there's clubs as well. So yeah, clubs are always fun. That's what the majority place I would say for fun is. So yes, in Cyprus you tend to enjoy, you go to clubs, you go to restaurants. Like, they have very beautiful restaurants, and they also have very beautiful hotels. Cyprus is a destination that people are yet to discover, and I know that one day Cyprus will become a popular place to come for vacation. Their hotels are that nice, trust me. They understand the concept of hotels. I would say Cyprus tourism, they understand what they're doing, they know what they're doing. They have a vision. If you can see it, you will see it. If you can't, you will know when everything has come together. That is why you see places like Iskele. Iskele is another city in North Cyprus. That is where most of the real estate is. Anything real estate is located in Iskele. So if you note the buildings, the plan and everything, you know that they are trying to, there's a vision. If you see it, you see it. If you know, you know. Cyprus has a vision for tourism. that I know that there will be a time that Cyprus will become the popular Instagram vacation location. So yeah, I will be Yuko's vacation guide. Your tour guide or whatever you may call it. But Cyprus is a very nice country, regardless of the bad side I've said or I've shared with you guys. Cyprus is a very nice country, and for someone like me personally, I can stay in Cyprus. I really love Cyprus because Cyprus is just a quiet place. It's not a noisy country. Everyone minds their business. Like, everyone is just to themselves. If I stay in my house, I might not see people for 2 months and no one would know. Cyprus is just like that, and I really love it. Like, you get to enjoy privacy a lot in Cyprus. Yes, I love Cyprus so much. Regardless of everything I've said, I love Cyprus so much. Speaking about hotels, if you've been to Cyprus, not Cyprus hotel, then you understand that what I'm saying in terms of the tourism, they have a vision. A place like Bafra, that's mostly where most of the hotels in Cyprus are, and I would say the hotels that are really, you can say 5-star hotels, they are mostly in Bafra. The way where they are situated, the services, the buildings, the interior, the surroundings, like Cyprus has gotten that to a T. They are very good in the aspect of aesthetic, especially in hotels and restaurants. Their food is nice. That's if you're open to other cultures. For me, I had lots of Turkish and Cypriot friends, so there are some of their dishes I truly enjoy, especially like in the hotels. I know sometimes they try to mix Turkish and international meals together for the buffet, but there are so many so many Cyprus meals that I enjoy most times, especially when I go to hotels, when I visit my friends. I love their food, some of their food. I have this belief that there is no culture that their food is not nice. It just depends on who made it and where you got it from. Yes, basically it depends on who made it and which dish in particular. I'm not saying you will like everything, but I believe there's nothing that is all bad. You will definitely find a good one. Maybe you just haven't seen someone that knows how to prepare it well. So yeah, I love their food as well. Their services, regardless of the fact that they can't speak English, they are very good. Their services are very good. All Cyprus hotels, or most of the Cyprus hotels, their customer service is really good. And also the hotels, they are mostly like the resorts in Mexico. Let me paint a picture for you guys. It's like resorts in Mexico. Guys, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you can check some clips on my TikTok or Instagram or YouTube shorts. The hotels are really beautiful. And like I said, one day I'm going to be Yupu's guide to getaways in Cyprus. When you're in hotels, especially places like Bafra, you totally forget that you're in Cyprus. And that is one thing people don't tend to understand in Cyprus, that having money and knowing the right people will open you to places in Cyprus that you never knew existed. There are places in Cyprus when you enter and you're like, it's like a different world entirely from the usual Cyprus you're used to, and you're like, so there's another side of Cyprus where people are really enjoying themselves, and then there's a different side of Cyprus. So yeah, if you have the money and you know your way around Cyprus, you will get to enjoy or see a different side of Cyprus that I feel like most people don't really see. Everyone has what they like, what they love to spend money on. Me, I love hotels. I love to visit hotels and other places as well. So yeah, all in all, Cyprus is a nice country. I would advise you coming to Cyprus that just try not to mix with the wrong crowd. Try not to venture into illegal things. Just try and be on your lane, make your friends, do whatever you want. But if you stay away from trouble, trouble will stay away from you too. That is just a simple explanation I can give about North Cyprus. And with what I said about the dormitory, it's very important because I know that right now everyone just wants luxury right now. You don't care how the luxury, everyone just wants luxury right now. It's not bad, but I would say it's a bad mentality, you know. So yeah, I feel like don't come with such a high expectation for Cyprus. And if you're not coming to do lavish and luxury in Cyprus, you will enjoy your stay in Cyprus. Just do things, cut your coat according to your size, and you will enjoy Cyprus. There's so much Cyprus has to offer. There's no place that's entirely bad. There's no place that's entirely good. You get to experience everything. But for you to make life easy, it's very important that you have money and you're able to take care of yourself for the period of time you're in Cyprus. So please, if you're in North Cyprus and you have any other thing to add, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. These are just a few things I could pinpoint and I feel like are important. Please, I will say this again. Don't listen to whatever any agent is telling you. North Cyprus is not easy. Come with money. If you come with money, life is easy. Just like, not just North Cyprus, everywhere in this world, anything. If you have money, life is easy. If you don't have money, life is not easy. But if you don't have money in Cyprus, it's very dangerous. So yeah, guys, I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to educate you a bit about North Cyprus. Please don't get carried away by the pictures or what you see. Trust me, it's not easy, but if you come prepared, in whichever aspect of life, is going to be easy, of course. So yeah, that is why I'm hammering on you to come prepared. But as a student, I would advise you, please do yourself well, do yourself a favor to make sure that you're financially stable, capable, and ready before coming to North Cyprus. Also, I have a quote for today. From now on, we're going to be having weekly quotes. Just sometimes it might come as a source of encouragement for you guys. I'm going to put it on the screen. It's just a message, especially to my generation these days. These days especially, we tend to do too much. So yeah, the quote of the week says, don't feel entitled to anything you didn't sweat and struggle for. And I feel like our generation is struggling with that so much. There are so many entitled people right now. So yeah, quote of the week, just try, remind yourself every time. If you tend to get angry at someone for not doing something or helping you a certain way or whatever it is, don't feel entitled for something you didn't sweat and struggle for. And I will see you guys next week.